Hi, this is Phil Susan, and you are watching CMS TV.
Maybe.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh!
Yeah, welcome to Wednesday. It's a hell of a start to the show here. Good.
Wow. Could more shit go wrong all at the same time? Holy smokes.
It's a fucking great day.
Look, just to set the table for this, I'm always late. Let's be clear. If we're late starting, it's always because of me. Because I literally work right up till the last minute and then run in here to do the show.
Yeah.
Well, today I ran in here to do the show and my internet was just shit. That was at 3:58. So I booted my computer. I was like, I'll just boot it real quick because I've got a I've got a real rocket ship computer that only takes a minute. I boot the computer. I come back in real quick, and I had told you, I said, just start the show. I'll be in by the time the song's done. I come in. The outro's playing. I'm like, what the hell is going on here?
I hit the go live button, and it's usually go live, and it has the intro song on it. Well, I mean, because I can't see for shit, I hit the go live button, and it was the outro song that was on it. So then that started playing, and then I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I just sat here like a douchebag.
Well, we're here.
My Facebook while I'm being threatened online.
Well, you need to stop with the fucking Facebook. Now it's getting serious. You need to get off that shit. But go ahead.
If anybody knows a Paul Geiger who went to Aurora High School, he is currently threatening me on Facebook. Told me that I'm the kind of he's the kind of guy that people call the cops on. And then I said, okay, well, apparently you're a tough guy. And he said he responded to me with, just remember what I said.
Ooh.
Which I believe is a threat.
Could be.
Yeah, I consider that a threat. I mean, I feel threatened. So if anybody knows a Paul Geiger, because I only say he went to Aurora High School.
Want to borrow? Just in case?
I may need to. But I say his name because he posted on Facebook and he posted where he went to school. He said he went to Aurora and then Findlay or something like that. I don't know. That's what he said online. So, I mean, you can look at it. It's public knowledge. Look at the WNIR post that's up there. One of the many that he created, and
is it going to take a bullet for you to get off the fucking social media?
No.
Now you got people threatening to shoot you.
Look, the left, I guess that's what the left is. The left is full of fucking violence. I mean, that's what they've become. They've become the party of violence. Not only the party of stupidity and hoaxes and lies and all that, but they have literally become the party of violence. They're burning down cars. They're burning down buildings. They're angry. And that's what they do.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
and
Matthew is back on. He is part of the party of violence. It's his party.
But why engage it? Why engage it? Well, fuck this guy. Fuck the WNIR webpage.
I didn't engage in violence. You engage in a discussion on social media. That's what social media is supposed to be. But
it doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for you.
An engagement of ideas and thoughts, and you're supposed to be able to go back and forth and have a conversation, intelligent or not. You're supposed to be able to go back and forth, having a conversation on what you believe, and the other person has what they believe. But when you start threatening people, like Paul Geiger is doing to me, I mean, that's when it crosses the line.
Well, what is it going to take for you to fucking just say enough of this stupid shit? It's not worth it.
I didn't say there's no gain or anything. It's a matter of, it's supposed to be a platform, again, where people give their thoughts and
but it's not. It doesn't matter what it's supposed to be. It's not. It's not.
It's supposed to be.
So what? There's a lot of things that are supposed to be that are not. It's not a place to share ideas. It is a cesspool of fucking negativity. That's what it is. That is what social media is. You could say what it's supposed to be all day long, but what it is a problem that is inching closer and closer to you by the day.
And what I mean, I actually took a few days off and didn't do anything on it, but I just saw some stupid post and I commented on it, and of course this guy has to fire back. That's the other thing about these people. They don't like it when you fire back, and so then they just keep going. They get personal. I've been called names and fat, and I mean, then I say, "Oh, you're real creative," and you call me fat. Like I haven't been called fat since I was like fucking 12 years old, dude. I mean, like you're really not hurting my feelings here, so you don't need to get personal about stuff. But this is what happens. And now Paul Geiger is one of these people. I found him on like LinkedIn too, so I know where he works. I know what he does for a living. But if we're gonna threaten somebody online, that's kind of insane, dude.
Well, I can't be bothered. You tell these stories every time we do a show, and I just sit there and think, yep, my social media stance is pretty good. I don't pay attention to these fucking idiots. They don't matter.
I mean, I find it entertaining and fun until somebody does something like that, because then you're crossing a line. I've never gone on Facebook and threatened somebody or said I'm going to beat somebody up, or I know where you live or some shit like that. I mean, why would you do that kind of stuff? I mean, it's garbage. But that's where this guy apparently wants to take it, if that's what he wants to do. I don't know. I mean, there should be consequences for people like that.
Well, you can report him, and he might get a 30-day rip on Facebook.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Then he'll show up at your fucking house.
That'll show him.
I agree with Bob 1,000% there. That's why you need to carry. That's why I do carry. Because if anybody ever takes issue with me and wants to do something about it, I'm ready.
It's hard for me to believe that this is where we've come.
But it is where we've come. It may be hard to believe, but it is where we are. At some point, you got to just say, fuck these dummies. Who cares?
But again, so it's a one-sided conversation. I mean,
it should be a no-sided conversation because you don't need to be on it. What do you get by being on it? Nothing.
What does anybody get by being on it?
Nothing.
Get rid of Facebook altogether. Why get rid of Twitter? Get rid of all
Dude, I'm all for that. I think most people would be fine if they could get rid of their fucking social media. If we didn't have to use it for anything, we wouldn't.
I'd be fine with it too. But you know what? It's a platform. It's supposed to be for entertainment. It's supposed to be for, again, exchange of ideas or exchange of pictures, exchange of my life, your life, and we talk about things, or we sometimes don't like whatever the people have to say. It's supposed to be there for that purpose. It's not supposed to be there for getting so angry that you want to threaten people or you want to hurt people.
Yeah, I get
pathetic and sad existence.
I understand what you're saying, but
somebody
you're
like
wrong.
that has a screw loose.
I understand perfectly what you're saying, but you're wrong. It's not. It doesn't matter what it's supposed to be. It's not. Social media is a place to blow up friendships, blow up families, and fight. That's what social media is. It has no other purpose than that in 2025. I don't give a shit what Mark Zuckerberg says or Elon Musk or any of these other owners of their platforms. These platforms are to fight and fuck up families. That's it. That's what it is. And you got to accept that at some point, because one of these fuckwads is going to show up. Then what? Then what are you going to do? Because you're not armed. You need to get armed.
Look,
if you're going to fight on Facebook all the time, you should be carrying. You really should be carrying, and you should be ready to put a bullet in somebody because they come at you for something that you said on social media or that they perceive that you said on social media. Because that is the world we live in. That's not how it's supposed to be, like you're saying, but that is the world we're in.
Well, it's kind of sad. Kind of
pathetic. It is. But it is. It is it is 100% where we are today, man.
Kind of scary when you think about it. I mean,
well, that's why I just don't engage.
But I mean, look, I don't like a lot of people's opinions on stuff. I mean, I disagree with a lot of people, whether it's on social media or not on social media. But I've never once had the thought, all right, that's it. I'm going to fuck this guy up. But I'm going to hurt this guy because they disagree with me. I mean, that's crazy. You have to have a screw loose already. You have to have a problem in your head. You have to have a mental issue going on if that's where your brain takes you.
And the blue hair and the bull rings and the I'm a woman trapped in a man's body and the transgender this and that, all that mental illness doesn't tell you that there's all the mental illness that's out there involved in being on the left, and you're looking for some kind of a rational solution from those people. I don't see where you think you're going to get it. You acknowledge every single week that these people are fucking crazy. So you're arguing with the crazy. And they're crazy.
I'm arguing with people that disagree with me. We're allowed to have disagreements.
But they're crazy.
Okay.
Tell me you don't know they're crazy.
Look, I consider their ideas to be crazy because I don't agree with them, but it's not necessarily. I do think that there's a lot of people on the left that have very nice families that go home, cook dinner, they go to work, they do their day to day, and they live life just like I do.
And you know what they don't do just like you?
That's bullshit, dude. They do. They go on Facebook and they say things to people. They do things online like everybody else does. It's not just mentally challenged people that go on fucking Facebook or Twitter and say shit. It's a lot of people.
Right. Brian. He's armed, just not legged.
I mean, that's a pretty fucked up thing to say considering the timing of that comment.
It's pretty good, though.
No, it's pretty shitty, dude.
Come on.
It's been 3 years.
You've come a long way, man. You've come a long way in 3 years.
It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
Since the old coma and leg chopped off.
Yeah, man. Has it got you in a weird mood today, too?
Yeah, it definitely does, dude. It's got me in a weird... this whole week has been kind of like in a weird space mentally because of that. I mean, because you start thinking about, like, where I was exactly 3 years ago.
Sure.
Well, 3 years ago, I'm sitting on the couch. Right now, 3 years ago, I think my wife had left the house because I was being a dick. Because I didn't know what I was doing. Like,
right.
She had brought, I mean, like that afternoon, if nobody's heard the story, 3 years ago, she had brought home McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And for a couple of weeks, I wasn't really eating a lot. I know that's weird for somebody like me to say, but like my skin had turned like ashy and stuff, and I really wasn't eating like anything. I could eat some lunch, but nothing for dinner. I would just sit there and stare at food and couldn't do anything. It was just fucked up. But that day she came home with McDonald's, and I got so pissed because she didn't bring a Diet Coke.
Jeez.
And like I was mad, dude. And I remember that. And I remember like slamming my head on the table and just fucking screaming at the poor woman. And I was so pissed about that Diet Coke. And later that day, I was sitting there and I was telling her that I needed to go to the store to get me a bottle of vodka.
Okay.
And she refused. She's like, I'm not doing that. And I said, but if you don't go, I'm going to fucking go myself. And I wasn't being me, dude. And so finally she did, and she left. And then she said, but I'm going to bring it home, and I'm leaving, and I'm taking Molly with me. And I sat there, and that's the last I really remember. And she had come home, and I was playing, like trying to change the channel on a TV that was off. And then I was playing on my phone. It wasn't charged. It was dead. And she ended up calling an ambulance after my dad was talking to her. And I said, you gotta call somebody.
So what, I'm curious if you know, what caused the behavioral shift? Was it like that your system, like your blood system had poison in it from the sepsis or whatever?
From the sepsis. And then, of course, when you get an infection, it raises your blood sugar tremendously, and being diabetic, it really raised the fuck out of it, I guess, because they said when I went into the so the ambulance took me. The last thing I really remember was the ambulance showed up, and I remember asking the paramedic, I said, how long am I going to be gone? And the dude was like, yeah, we'll have you back in like an hour, man. And I was like, all right. And I got on the table, and that's the last, or the gurney thing, and that's the last I remember. But apparently my blood sugar was like 1,000.
Holy shit.
Just over 1,000. Yeah, this last infection I had when I went and I had the seizure, my blood sugar was like 400.
Wow.
And so it was 1,000. And so I don't remember anything. My wife, tells me the story every now and then about she had to sign a paper to have my leg removed.
Right. I bet that wasn't fun.
And I had to apparently sign it, but I don't remember signing it. So she had to do it.
Right.
And then I guess that was it for me. I was put in a coma for 3 days and woke up without the leg. So, and then I was in the hospital for over a month after that.
Well, and again, you don't have to I'm going to push you, and then you can tell me to back up anytime you want. When you wake up and how long does it take you to realize that you don't have a leg? And what do you think? Do you go to like spewing, like yelling at people? How could you fucking do this to me? Or
no,
I mean what is the mindset there when you first wake up?
The first thing I remember when I woke up was them yanking the tubes out of my throat.
Oh, that sucks too. I've done that.
Yeah, and that was no fun, dude. And that hurt. But I remember gasping for air. And I remember, I think I talked to my dad or somebody. They told me that I lost they took my foot off, and I was upset, but I was alive.
Right.
And so I don't remember ever being pissed at anybody. Plus, I was on so many fucking drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this one doctor. I don't remember what the guy fucking looked like. I just remembered his voice. And he would be sitting in like the room with me and just talking to me and saying, it'll be all right, but you're lucky to be here.
Right.
And telling me about the leg. And
did you believe him, or were you like, whatever, dude? I lost my fucking foot.
No, I believed him. I mean, look, again, it was I had always had problems with my feet to begin with.
Okay.
I mean, like, there are times where I was running through like an airport or something like that. My wife was so far ahead of me, and I kept telling her, "Look, I can't move like this. Like, my
Right.
feet are fucking just so bad." And so they were bad for a while. And this last time, I mean, I knew that there was a nail that was stuck in my foot for God only knows how long. And I knew it tore the shit out of my leg and out of the bottom of my foot. And so I kind of figured that this eventually would happen to me. And but when it did, it still fucking shocked us.
Hell yeah. Well, dude, you just don't. I mean, look, in the real world, no one envisions any of that stuff. No one envisions losing a hand, an arm, a finger, an eye. No one. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're at war. If you're in a war, you don't sit around going, man, I hope I make it out of here with only losing a hand. You know what I mean? Or only losing a leg. You just don't. It's one of those things that you don't put into your brain. It's always a shock to the system. And I know we've documented it here on the show before, but you find out real quickly how much your life changes. Like, everything changes. Every last thing in your life is probably different now, yeah?
Oh, yeah, tremendously different. And, everything from, dude, in the middle of the night, you got to take a fucking piss, dude. You got to climb out of the bed and stick myself in a wheelchair. Then I got to, like, turn around and not only, I got to put a leg on, I got to put another shoe on my other foot. And then, I go back to bed. You got to take the leg off again and climb out of a wheelchair in the bed. And it's not easy, dude. There's a lot of, and then a lot of little things, man. A lot of, I can't help around the house like I used to be able to. I can't do a lot of shit because shit hurts.
Yeah. Well, and it's the, dude, it's got to be like the tiniest things. It's got to be like, I know you mentioned on the show once about you can't use your leg to flip a blanket off you or whatever. Right. Because it ain't there. It ain't there. But that is such a, we all do that. And I'm sure you did before you lost your leg. It's just part of your life is, you roll over and the blanket, your foot comes out from under the blanket or whatever, and you use your foot to just kind of flip it back over or whatever. Yeah, and now that's out. That's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't sleep obviously you don't sleep with the prosthetic and shit on.
Right. No.
So, it is there's a lot that I've learned how to do again, and being able to walk up the stairs and stuff. But even being able to walk upstairs is different. Like I can't go one foot after another. I got to go left foot
sidestep
up,
or whatever, right?
Left foot up, then right foot up. I can't just keep going bloop, 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 bloop. It's just one after another.
Right.
And going down, same kind of thing.
Yeah, there's no running up the steps anymore.
No, there's not. There's no running anywhere.
Right, exactly. Well, you could get those blades.
I know I could get blade, but I didn't run beforehand, so I figured I'm not going to do that again. I kind of gave up my track dreams at this point.
I wish you would get the blade though, because I would call you Oscar Pistorius all day long.
Yeah, my big ass would trip over those fucking things, and I'd be falling.
Cut your hand off on the blade from falling.
But it's like stupid shit, dude. Like I just bought a pair of shoes the other day, right?
Right.
Spent like $70 to get these shoes, and I didn't even think about it because I like the shoes. I was like, I'm gonna get these shoes, and I need a new pair of shoes. I get them home, and these are nice shoes, but they have no laces. They're just like shoes that you just pull apart and put your foot on. Blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Well, dude, things are just different now, and I can't just slide my foot into these things.
Right.
And so it's like I had to take them back because I can't. When they kind of close together, so I can't just slide my foot into it. I can't use the shoes, or they don't work for me. And so it's stupid crap like that I don't like. And I don't mind people looking like kids look and shit like that. And,
of course,
that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. It's sometimes the adults that stare it's like, dude, have you ever seen anybody with a prosthetic fucking leg before?
Yeah. That's when you should just be an asshole. Did you serve your country? Well, that's what everybody thinks anyway, is that you got to blown off.
That's the other thing is that every time it's embarrassing when somebody's like, hey,
Thank you for your service, man.
I'm like, thank you, a nail, for sticking up in the bottom of my fucking foot and tearing it to shreds and causing a nasty infection.
That's what you just gotta say. You're welcome. I did serve the Triv Show for 20 years.
Yeah.
Did it for you.
And I'm never one of those guys that would ever like oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
God bless you. God bless America.
Right.
Like I told you once before, I showed up at Travis Mills is a guy that did serve in Afghanistan and had all 4 limbs blown off by a bomb. Dude. So he's got no arms, no legs. Dude. And the guy is a fucking hero, dude. And now he's got prosthetics on all 4 and does his thing. And he had a golf outing here. And I went up there and I had my, patriotic shirt on because he is, I was celebrating him.
Sure.
And I hadn't gotten my prosthetic leg yet. So I'm in a fucking wheelchair wearing an American flag shirt, red, white, and blue shorts. And then they gave me a flag to hold while he was being, brought to the golf course. And like all these news stations are out there and they're like filming everything. And I look like straight out of Born on the 4th of July movie, dude. Like I'm sitting there in a fucking wheelchair, no leg, American flag attached to my chair, scruffy beard. And I look like I came straight out of Vietnam.
Hey, look, it's Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah. And I got like news people coming up to me going, so how'd you lose your leg? I was a dumbass and I stepped on a fucking nail and I'm too fat and had diabetes, didn't feel it.
That's right.
Had it removed after I was drinking a bottle of vodka by myself.
Oh, thanks for your time. Thanks.
Cut. We go to the other guy down there with no legs.
Let's delete that.
Oh, thank God we weren't live.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, it's kind of got me in a weird spot considering it's been 3 years. And when you think about 3 years, dude, you remember me 3 years ago?
Yeah, you were kind of a cunt.
Starting to do this show with Mike. And I was a fucking lunatic.
Very angry.
Yes, not only with Mike, but just in general. I was just an angry bastard. I was stuck around his house all the time. I couldn't drive anywhere. I didn't have a job.
Well, you were saying the truth is, and I think you probably see it now. You didn't see it then. You were supposed to be angry. Your whole goddamn life got turned upside down. You're supposed to be angry about that.
Well, yeah, and I was angry at a lot of things, and a lot of it was aimed at myself. I mean, I hated, my former job for what they did to me and how they reacted to me, and I hated them for not supporting or helping support things that were functions and funds that were being set up for me because I had no job. I was fired. I had no insurance. I got nothing. My poor wife and daughter sitting there going, how are we going to live? And that fucking place wouldn't help me out even a little bit.
Yeah, they did you bad.
They did me real bad.
I don't care what anybody says over there at TAM about, well, you weren't an employee anymore, this or that. They did you. They didn't have to fucking pay for anything. They could have been decent about it, especially since you didn't go out bad. You went out classy when they did fire you. It's not like you went to the paper and were like, you won't believe what these fucking assholes did. You went out classy. They could have given back by just saying, hey, there's this Seth benefit. Seth from the Triv Show going through this problem. Why don't you guys help him out a little bit? Wouldn't have cost them nothing to do that, but they're just cunty.
Yeah, wouldn't have done anything for them. Nothing. Wouldn't hurt them at all.
None.
And then also I was angry because you sit in the hospital for a fucking month and then you realize who your friends are and who they aren't. People that I thought I was really close to couldn't even make a fucking phone call.
Yeah.
Much less come see me. It wasn't like I was fired for a year and away from those people for a long time. I was gone for a month before I was in the hospital.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And, a handful actually came up and saw me and said, hey, how you doing? And we're there.
Right.
But a lot of those people that I thought were like really good friends weren't.
Yeah.
And
that's one of those.
Too.
Dude, that is, It's funny because yours and mine parallel so much. I just have so much more distance from mine than you. But I had the same thing, dude. I mean, hey, it's Chris Aiken from the Classic Metal Show, Chris Aiken Presents, and the Seth Williams Show, straight from the uncensored heart of the CMS network. We've just been crowned a certified Rumble creator, and that means we're bringing the heat. All our shows, commercial free, baby. Advanced episode drops sometimes months before the normal release, so you're not stuck waiting. You'll get all this plus exclusive content for Rumble Premium subscribers that'll blow your mind. And with Rumble Premium, you'll get every CMS Network show and all of Rumble's other videos with no ads and no fluff. This is our official home, Rumble. It's raw, powerful, and unfiltered. You want in? Just hit us up at rumble.com/register/classic metal show to sign up for free commenting, chat live, and just your ability to join the chaos of all of our shows. Then while you're there, swing by any of our videos, smash that Rumble Premium button, and level up. Subscribe now. Don't sleep on this. Hit the link in the description.
Carling all metalheads, the CMS Network is now on Substack, and it's your new metal haven. Get your daily dose of the Classic Metal Show, Chris Aiken Presents, the Seth Williams Show, and all our other shows, all in one killer app. It's free to join, or just pay $4.99 a month, go ad-free, snag original early releases, and unlock exclusive bonus content. But that's not all. It's an online community where you can hang out with fellow ad bangers who live for raw, uncensored commentary. Ready to join the thrash? Download the Substack app from your iOS or Android store, search for the CMS Network, and get into the pit. It's free and the ultimate way to bring our metal madness with you every day. Install a Substack app now and follow the CMS Network.
Quite honestly, this one guy, and I won't say his name on the air. You can read it in my book if you really want to know who it is. But I had a guy that I grew up with from diapers, literally from diapers. When we were growing up, and I was two years old, we lived in a duplex in Streetsboro. We lived on one side, his family lived on the other side. So I grew up with this dude, and this fucking guy who I would have trusted forever. And, and I mean, dude, you've got these people in your life too. The people that you tell, we're going to grow up together. We're going to raise our kids together. I'll be the godfather of your kid. You'll be the godfather of my, the whole thing. You have it all planned out in life. This motherfucker went and organized a benefit when I was in a coma, made $6,000 for the benefit and kept it.
That's pretty fucked up.
Didn't give it to my family, did not give it. And the only reason I found out about it was because the club owner called my house bitching at me because he saw me on TV thanking people that helped me and was pissed off that I didn't thank his damn club. And I was like, bro, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And it was this guy that made me look bad, but most importantly, he took, when I had no money coming in at all, he took $6,000 out of my kids. My kids were little, man. My daughter was like 2 and my boys were like 6-8 months, something like that. I mean, they were little kids. And the reason, the message to this whole thing is you find out really quickly who's your real friends. Absolutely. And who are your friends from convenience.
Yeah, well, yeah. Look, Billy Morris, dude.
Yeah.
Billy Morris, I mean, it's not like Billy and I talk all the time. I mean, I texted him a couple of days ago, talked for a second on text. But back when this happened, he was one of the first people to stand up and say, all right, let's do a benefit in my shop for you. He's like, I'll play. We'll get somebody else. Hayden Grove came out and played and sang. And, there a bunch of people showed up. I mean, it was really nice. It was good. People came out and donated money and stuff like that, and it was great. Right. But if TAM would have publicized that to their listeners of the Triv Show, it would have been huge.
Yeah. It would have made you probably enough money to get through to get through the hardest part. I mean, that's the hardest part. And I know it's something that you don't publicize a whole lot, but I'll bring it up and you can talk about it to whatever level you want to. You're not making any money anyway because you didn't have your gig.
Right.
And then you can't go make money because you're still trying to figure out how to wheel into a fucking restaurant or a grocery store or something, because the little bump or whatever is more than you can do.
Right.
Because you're not trained to it. So you're really kind of helpless. And
I couldn't drive anywhere either.
But that's when people are supposed to step up. And I mean, I know that some people stepped up for you. I know that they did. And by all means, on today's anniversary and every anniversary, you should acknowledge them, but there's some that do. But anytime you go through something like this, the ones that stick out are the ones that you really thought would and don't. And it's sad. It's really sad because it hurts knowing that you don't mean what you thought you meant to somebody.
Bob also has gone through the same thing with me, lost a part of his leg.
Right.
We talked a couple of different times. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is tough. And I don't like to be the guy filled with hate, dude. I really don't. I know that I joke around about Facebook and stuff like that. And I am, people like that arguing with or who threatened me. I don't really like that guy, but I don't really hate anybody. People are allowed to have differing opinions. Mm-hmm. But I have a tough time getting over some of the hatred that I have for at least a couple of those people over there for the way that they treated me and my family, frankly, after it happened. 3 years, and I'm still not over that anger towards those people. I mean, fuck, you want to fire me? Fire me. I mean, I've been, like, I understand the radio business and any job, dude. You get fired eventually. It happens. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to get angry over getting fired, even though I still thought that was bullshit. But because he lied to me. But after you lied and after you fired me, you couldn't just help out a fucking family in need who had no insurance and no fucking money coming in other than my wife's salary, which is, she busts her ass, but she's not, doesn't work for a Fortune 500 company.
She's not making $1,000 an hour either.
She's not a CEO somewhere.
Yeah.
She busts her ass.
Of course. Yeah, dude. I mean, but you're saying it like 3 years. You almost sound like you feel like you should be over it or past it or whatever. Fuck no, dude. The guy I was just talking about, I don't have the hate that I did. There was a time that I would have fucking run him over. If I saw him in the street, I would have run him over. But I've seen him out now, here and there, a couple of times, and I've been cordial. I wouldn't go to a barbecue at his house or anything now, but at the same time, when I have run into him here and there, I've been like, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. You sort of get past it a little bit, or you just learn that some people are just not worth your energy, and you got enough things to worry about to use your energy on than to worry about shitty people. Those folks at TAM that should have been there for you and weren't, well, they're shitty people, and they expose themselves as shitty people. So now you know. And I know that blows, but now you know. Now you know, and should they ever need something, quite honestly, knowing you, I think you would step up anyway.
I probably would.
I think you would. But that shows to your character versus their character. And in the end, you don't want to live to the lowest common denominator's character. You want to live to your character.
Absolutely. But I mean, and I'm sure that going through everything that you've gone through, what it's like when there's an anniversary that pops up. It just kind of floods you with all the memories and the pain or whatever you went through, the suffering. I mean, I hate to say it, but some of it was suffering, dude.
Of course, dude. I mean, my December 12th, and like just like you, I know the day, I know the time. December 12th was my 30th anniversary of the burn accident. 30, which is staggering when you think about it, that it was 30 years ago. because there are definitely days where it seems like it was yesterday. And then there's definitely days where I look at it and it almost feels like it's somebody else's story that I just know. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's me anymore. It feels like somebody told me this story and I'm telling it to people. But yeah, I go in different moods, dude. I have definitely had years where I would come into the week and I would tell my wife and kids, I'd be like, just fucking leave me alone for a week. Georgetta on a couple of occasions took vacations. Like we would take a separate vacation because she just knew I was going to be an asshole.
Right.
And she would take a different vacation than me for that week just to not have to deal with me yelling and screaming and being an asshole. You know, but now these days, you know, this last year I was kind of like, okay, whatever. You know, it happened. I'm better for it now. I've used it to my advantage now. You know, I've done so many things that I would have never done if I was still if I was still a steel worker. So if I was still a steel worker, I'd still be grinding it out at fucking whatever steel place, making $20 an hour and just being a miserable shit that doesn't do anything.
And, you know, I don't look at myself as anything. I'm just a shit radio guy that is trying to make it through life on a day-to-day basis with
Right.
little money and trying to keep my family together and happy and, you know, trying to get my daughter off to college and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I've seen other guys that were in my situation or have been close to my situation, and they let it really bring them down. Dude. And there was a time where I thought that was going to be me.
Right.
And then I decided I didn't want that to be me. And I wasn't going to just sit around the house and do nothing and live my life off of disability and sadness and say, why did this happen to me? I'm going to get out there and do what I fucking love, which is going to work at a radio station.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy my family. I'm going to enjoy what time I got left on this place.
That's right. It's all you can do.
So I tried to get out of that funk after, like I said, you know how miserable I was when I got out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And thank God. I mean, I have to say, you know, don't take this the wrong way. I don't want to have sex with you right now, but if it wasn't for you, you helped out tremendously, dude. I mean,
And happy to do it.
you helped me when I was in a dark place and ended up getting me through another dark place called the Seth Williams Show to start. And
well, look, let's be fair here. Let's not throw Mike under the bus completely here because he was there for you at the beginning.
Dude, don't let me believe me. When it comes to Mike Traselka being a person, I got nothing wrong with the guy.
Right.
I mean, that guy he came to see me in the hospital. He brought me iced tea bunches of times up there. We hung out and talked about, you know, doing a show and all that kind of stuff. And he was absolutely a good friend. I mean, he took me to appointments that I needed to go to.
Sure.
I got nothing bad personally to say about Mike Traselka. Politically, I will talk shit about him all day long.
Right.
Because I don't believe him when he talks about his theory and model on, you know, bringing everybody together, bullshit. But as a person, I got nothing bad to say about that guy.
Yeah. I'm just saying on a day like today, he should get his just due because
Absolutely.
he definitely was there, especially very early on when you needed rides everywhere and help. He was there. So he,
no doubt.
You know,
But
I just want to make sure the audience doesn't think that Mike wasn't a part of it too, because Mike really was. He really was.
He really was, and it was a good part of it. And I really don't have anything bad as a person to say about Mike. It's just his politics that I thought the show suffered because of it.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Because he made me angry, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good yelling and screaming all the time. It was just bad. And so, I mean, but as a person, he was a good person.
Yeah.
You know, Carmen Angelo. You know, another one that, you know, was there. Jake, my friend Jake, dude. I don't know if he's listening today, but
yeah, he is.
Jake was there nonstop.
Talking about giving you rides in the wheelchair.
It was funny because Jake came up to the hospital one day, and I was allowed to go outside for a few, and
right.
so he wheeled me outside. We sat in a corner West 25th over there.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sitting there, he's smoking whatever, and we're just talking shit. And
Sure.
I was so fucking bored up there all the time. I mean, sitting there by yourself sucks. And Jay came up and we went outside, we're talking, and we must have been out there for a couple of hours. To the point where the hospital starts fucking looking for us. I said, well, what the fuck do you think? I have no leg. I'm not running away.
Yeah. I'm escaping.
You think he just tossed some fucking, fat one-legged dude in the trunk of his car? We're going to take off?
Now, Mr. Williams, you know you're not supposed to be out here.
But Jake was one of those guys that I realized is a friend after a lot of the people up there were not.
Mm-hmm.
And, Dennis Kucinich, dude. I don't agree with Dennis Kucinich on much of anything.
Sure.
But that guy called me like twice in the hospital. One time for a very long time. Sat there and talked to me and said everything's going to be all right. And we talked. I called Dennis Kucinich because at one point I was having a mental fucking breakdown.
Right.
And I thought they were going to try to keep me in there and never let me out of that hospital.
Right.
Because I was going, why am I even here? None of this therapy. I could do all this therapy at home.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't letting me get the fuck out. They had this date on this board that was in my room. And I was like, am I ever going to make it to this fucking date on the board? And I called Dennis Kucinich during one of my meltdowns. And I was like, dude, I'm sorry to bother you. I mean, we're talking about a guy, former mayor of Cleveland, for God's sake, congressman. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't think you're going to let me out of here. Now, that guy must have thought I was fucking bananas and a half, dude. He's like, you don't worry.
Right.
If they don't let you out, you call me. I'll get you out of there. But it's people like that you need sometimes. And there were people that were really great about that.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, you find out who your friends are and who aren't.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Now, Jake could actually come through with a guest for me for a pop show. That would be fucking great. But, he was a friend 3 years ago, and I was kind of slacking. Once he becomes a megastar with the Maha movement, now all of a sudden, not so much.
Right.
But yeah, it's just it's weird. This whole weekend is just going to be weird because it was like, 4 days of being hospitalized and in a coma and all that kind of bullshit. And I remember all the shit.
Sure.
I still to this day remember what I saw when I was in the coma.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, you had the weird dreams?
Yeah, yes, it was weird dreams, and then I remember it like it was yesterday. Those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same thing. I have in my book, in my Call Me Chris book, which is about my burn accident, I have a whole chapter just dedicated to the dreams that I just kind of, because I had these whack ass dreams, probably same as you, because it's caused by the meds. It's caused by the morphine, and your brain is half working, plus you're in shock and in a coma and everything else. But dude, I swear you could put me on a lie detector and I could tell you that there were human-sized beetles crawling on me, and that I was chained to the walls of a pirate ship that was sinking, and that I was tucked away in my grandmother's closet for a while. I had these dreams, and I'm telling you, they felt real. And I know they weren't real. I know they weren't real, but they were that real to me. And I'm betting anything, especially, coma to coma, you probably had the same shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, I remember like it was yesterday. I began walking through like this forest, and there were all these things flying around me. I remember what they looked like. It was real pretty, but then I got to this neighborhood type place. Actually, when I got out of this forest, and there was all these dark buildings and everything. And I remember actually almost like a Reaper kind of whatever walking next to me.
Okay.
And then it was a long walk around all this. I remember everything very vividly. And there was a house with a light on it, and that's where we were going. And then that's when I remember the tubes being taken out and gasping for air. But I remember what these things that were flying around in the forest looked like. And I was watching, I think it was the Queen's coronation. I don't know, whatever it was, on TV, and I saw the statue that looked exactly like these things that were flying around me.
Right. Wow.
And I took a picture of it on my cell phone of this statue,
Mm-hmm.
and I took it to like a priest or somebody that was actually helping us out too with
Sure.
some finance stuff, and I showed him the picture, and he's like, "That's an angel." And I said, "Well, I remember seeing numerous of these things flying around me while I was in the coma." Because I took a picture of it. I knew exactly what I saw when I saw it on TV. I was like, "Holy fuck, that's what I remember seeing in the coma." And he said it was an angel. I said, "Well, there were a bunch of them." I said, "Well, that's probably a good thing for you."
Yeah.
But I take it for what it's worth. That's what I know that I saw. But it's crazy and it's creepy and it's weird, and unless you're really close to death, people don't understand it.
Yeah.
When I was home, I remember sitting out on the patio, and every blade of grass just looked prettier to me than it did, before. Like everything, I just wanted to experience more.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I'm a little bit better now, but like my wife would get mad because I didn't want to just sit around the house. I always needed to go out and do something because I don't want to die being
Locked
sad,
up.
lonely, and locked up in the house.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Yeah, I dude, and we all go through it. Everybody changes, dude. I'm a completely different person than the person I was when I got hurt. Completely different. I was a slug. I make no, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I work pretty fucking hard. And I work a lot of hours. I work way more than almost anybody I know as far as hours that I put into doing stuff. And I'm always trying to do more and do more and do more. Dude, I wasn't that guy. I was not that guy before I got hurt. I was a guy that did my 8, bitched if I had to stay and do 4 hours extra at the steel mill, came home, watched TV, and went to sleep and repeat. Didn't do shit. Totally lazy. Didn't help with my kids. Wouldn't go even help the wife with the grocery shop. Slug. And after my accident, and you could probably relate to this, I had to work so hard to get better, and so many hours of every single day, even when I wasn't in actual physical therapy. They had told me, they said, you got 12 months, and anything that you don't get back in 12 months, you won't get back. They said, if you don't have this much range of motion, that's as much as you're going to get. 12 months. And I worked and worked and worked and worked. Well, once I got done, I didn't know how to stop. I just did not know how to stop. And literally from the time I went back to work after my accident, which was, 16, 18 months later, I've never not had at least 2 things going on. Never. And that's from 1996 till now. So that's 30 years. 30 years I've never only had one job. Ever. Because it changed me. It changed me as a person. It does. Dude, you go through a near-death thing, man. You fucking appreciate every day, and you want to make sure that you capitalize on every day.
Absolutely.
Because you've been closer than most people to not having tomorrow.
Exactly. And then I try to explain to people, like, you don't know when your time is going to be, dude. You just don't. And I know it sounds cliche to say, but when you've almost had that day, you know that they are limited, my friend.
Yeah. Dude, I literally, the difference between me being here right now and being 30 years in a hole right now is an electroshock that brought my heart back to beating.
Right.
That's it. I was dead. I was dead on the table, and they shocked me back. But just think if I would have had a less trained nurse or something that put the diode on the wrong place or something, I'd be dead from an inch off or 2 inches off, or not having the right setting, or being 10 minutes later to the hospital. All the little tiniest things. I certainly get. Today ain't guaranteed. I may not make it to the end of this show. I might drop dead right now. It could happen. And, but thankfully in my world, and I hope it is this way in your world, if it was to happen this very second, I go out okay because I feel like I accomplished everything that I wanted to do. And I push myself to do that.
I still have things I'd like to do, of course, but I think the same kind of stuff. I think, like, what if my wife didn't come home when she did? What if she didn't make the call? What if she just said, "All right, Seth was just being an asshole. I'm going to go to bed. We'll figure this out in the morning." And what if she didn't make that call? What if she didn't come home? Like I said, when she came home the next morning instead of when she did.
Yeah.
And instead she finding me being a douchebag, found me dead.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many different things that could have happened. And that's why anytime you start to question your faith or anything like that, for me, it feels like no, there was a plan here. There was a reason why she came home when she did. There was a reason why this happened, that happened, and there's some sort of a plan there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure what it is, and maybe I'm fucking it all up on social media, but I feel like there was a plan.
Hey, you just got to push forward. Maybe this is the plan. Oh, I guess he didn't like how you went at Mike on that last. I'll say one thing to Marty here on this. Marty doesn't know the off the air stuff. And there was plenty of that too. There was plenty of that.
First play. I played in Chris. First saying that about Mike. Also, I will say that Seth treated Mike disgracefully on the air when he fell out. I did not. No, you don't know everything that happened. So, I mean, sorry, Marty, but you can kind of go fuck yourself on that one. You don't understand. You weren't there. You have no idea what kind of relationship we had or what kind of stuff I went through, what kind of numbers I saw fucking dwindling because, the kind of shit that he was saying, the kind of lies that were being told. You have no idea what happened on that show.
There was more. And I'm not saying to get into it either. I'm just saying there was more going on. A lot more than what happened on the air.
Yeah. And on top of that, I gave that guy a lot longer than I should have.
That's true too.
Because I was being loyal, because I was being a friend, because I thought maybe things would work itself out, but it didn't. You have no idea how many people were coming to me offering me fucking money to dump them.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
Lots of money to dump them.
Yep.
I didn't.
There was a crew that definitely was. Hey, we'll advertise if you don't have Mike.
Believe me, there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was a lot of that. I know. I certainly know.
And I didn't for a very long time. Probably to my detriment, to be honest with you.
It just wasn't meant to be. I don't want to turn this into a Mike bash.
Again, I just said how great of a person he was to me and how much of a friend I considered him. And quite frankly, if he asked me to go out to dinner tomorrow night, I would.
Of course.
But, don't speak when you don't know. Smarten up. I don't tell you how to fucking handle your marriage. Yeah, dude. So, whatever. Yeah, but 3 years.
Yeah, well, happy anniversary.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
I guess. Gonna have a cake?
Shaped like a leg.
Dude, I've done that. I've done the cake thing. I didn't this year, but yeah, I have. I celebrate it now because it's, it's a major part of my life. And, it always will. It always will be the major part of my life. There's no, and you're the same way. You're never going to have anything that's going to outweigh that. You're just not. I mean, dude, I say it out. I say it honestly. Even my kids being born, not nearly as big of a deal in my life as the burn accident. It's just not.
Went to the hospital with that infection. It was in February. And I had that seizure at the hospital. And I remember sitting there like an hour after it happened laughing. I was like, oh, this is nothing.
Minor leagues.
I still got my limbs attached. We're all right.
Yeah. Dude, I thought the same thing when I had COVID. When I had COVID and I was really like, I thought I was going to die because I really did think I was going to go. I thought I was done with the COVID. And I remember sitting there going, and the only thought in my head was, I can't believe I'm going to let this little fucking sniffle kill me when being burned to death didn't. And I remember thinking that. I thought that very, very realistically. I was like, I can't let this sniffle kill me. I fucking took a 7-ton bomb.
Yeah. I don't know. I still worry about losing the other one. I still worry about that kind of stuff every now and then. But
well, you're always going to now. You know, dude, be honest. Before it happened, you never once had a thought about losing a finger, let alone a leg or an arm or anything.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of wrong to say I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, but that's kind of the way that you feel. Like, what's going to happen next?
Yeah, dude. There's definitely moments where I, even still, I'll be apprehensive to do certain things, and sometimes I won't do certain things. Like, I'll give you an example. I went to see, this is probably about 10 years ago now, but I went to the House of Blues to see Black Label Society. And I went into the venue, and it was way oversold. Like, it was so oversold that they had the doors open in the back and people were standing up on those steps that lead down into the, I mean, it was way oversold. And I just looked at it and I thought about the fucking Rhode Island fire, the Great White Fire.
Yeah.
And I turned around and went home. I literally just said no. And Zach's my friend. I mean, I literally didn't see him because I just was like, nope, I can't put myself in here because the only thing I'm going to do when I'm in here is mind fuck myself into being burned again. And I was like, and I didn't. I went home. You know, I mean, I definitely don't put myself in certain, I still don't, even today. I have been to fireworks. I mean, it's 35 years. I've been to fireworks twice, I think, maybe 3 times total in 35 years, because the booms, you know, the big explosions just put me right back in front of that furnace looking at my fucking bones in my hand going, holy fuck, what just fucking happened? You know, it puts my brain right back there, and I just go out of my way to avoid it. You have to.
I definitely don't put myself into situations where I think it's going to be difficult for me with my leg, dude. Like we have tickets to go see a show at Blossom in August.
Okay.
I think I'm actually looking forward to it. Toto, Men at Work, and Christopher Cross.
Christopher Cross, nice. Yacht Rock night.
Yeah, dude. Everything. I think it'll be fun, but I'm I'm already getting paranoid about the fucking show because I don't know how I'm going to manage to get up and down the hill. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, the parking situation there. I'm already panicking about what's going to happen when I get to that fucking show. And I'm looking so forward to it, but yet terrified. We just planned our vacation.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, I hate planning stuff because, even though it's like 3 months away, you sit there going, God, I hope I'm alive to go see this vacation. Like, just stupid shit like that goes through my head. But we're going to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and Gatlinburg.
Okay, nice.
So Smoky Mountains and stuff, and Dollywood is down there, and they got a bunch of cool shit to actually do down there.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And I'm already panicking about that. Like, what am I going to be able to do? Am I going to be able to walk? Or I know if I go to like something like an amusement park like Dollywood, I'm going to have to get one of these fucking scooter things. But like, I'm reading online already about, my daughter sent me like their amputee fucking policies at Dollywood. Like, they'll help you. Like, but if you go on this roller coaster, you got to take your limb off and leave it to the side, and like,
Jesus,
there's gonna be like a park representative that'll take my leg for me and like give it back, hopefully, and
right,
and all this shit. Like, and I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that guy that's holding up the fucking ride from going because somebody's got to take my fucking leg from me. And then I wonder, am I gonna what can I get on? What can't I get on?
Sure.
What's gonna be a pain in the ass to step into or step out of?
Mhm.
I mean, all that kind of shit goes through your head now, and it's part of me doesn't want to do it because I don't want it to be so much of a hassle that I don't enjoy myself.
Right. No, I
And
get
so
it.
it's stuff like that I never worried about before.
Mhm.
I worried about the seatbelt fitting because I'm fat, but I didn't worry about somebody having to take my fucking leg from me.
Right.
And so it's stupid shit that it just changes your entire life, dude.
It does. But the bottom line, dude, and you know this, and I don't know if Bob is still watching or not, but he knows this as well. You adapt. You find out, and it becomes normal. So, you'll be fine. Whatever you have to adapt to, you'll adapt to it.
Yeah, one way or the other, you'll find a way to figure shit out. It's just, but there is anxiety that goes along with that kind of stuff. We're watching videos of stuff to do while we're down there on vacation, and I'm sitting there going, well, can I do that? Am I going to be able to do that? Am I going to be able to do this?
Sure.
Do they have too many stairs there? Like, for instance, my daughter and I'm a huge Superman fan. Obviously, my leg is Superman. I have Superman tattoos. I'm just a Superman fan.
Okay.
And they're having Superman night at the ballpark at Progressive Field.
Okay.
Like July 20, whatever, or something. And so I want to go.
Okay.
And I want to take my daughter and make it a night, and we go and see the game and Superman night, and you get the first 50,000 people get bobbleheads or whatever. But I'm hesitant because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to my seat, if I'm going to be able to get through a row to be able to get to my seat. My daughter's graduation is coming up, and it's at Playhouse Square. And I got the same shit going through my head. Like, I don't know where the seats are going to be. Am I going to be able to get into it? Am I going to be able to? I can't climb over a bunch of people.
No, but you just need to call is what you need to do and say, look, here's my situation. Make it work for me. This is where you just have to be bold and say, look, I'm missing a fucking leg. Make it work. Put me on the aisle. That's that. Or put me in a different section. And especially at the ballpark has like handicapped sections, don't they?
Yeah.
For like wheelchairs and stuff like that.
It's just, it's a situation that I don't like to be in. I don't like to consider myself abnormal. But when it comes
but you have
it,
to, dude.
I am.
I'm
not.
Yeah. Dude, I can remember when, and this was something I fought so long and hard with about being deformed. And I remember telling myself the word over and over again, deformed, because, I went from being normal to being fucked up. It just is what it is. And it took me a while to understand that. But once I got it through my head, then it stopped being a fucking, scary thing. And you just accept this is the way it is. And take the advantages that you get, or I guess they aren't advantages. Take the I'll say it a different way. Take the respect that you're gonna be shown for the issue that you've had. It's not like they're coddling you. You need fucking help getting in because you went through something. So take the help.
I know, but sometimes it's tough. It's tough to I'm not like, look, I'm not like. I'm man to man. I'm not going to take assistance. But at the same time, dude, you got a wife and a daughter that you want them to look up to you or be proud of you. And you don't want to be that guy that goes, yeah, I need help here.
But you know what they won't be proud of if you sit at home? That's
right.
When they won't be proud of you. If you sit at home and don't do stuff. If you have to do stuff, I promise you, if you ask Molly or Heather right now if they give a shit about you needing assistance, neither one would say yes. Neither one would. The only one that cares about that is you.
Yeah, I know.
because you're the one that's wrestling with it. They're not wrestling with it. They're not going to give a shit. They just want to go out and do stuff with you.
Yeah, I know. But it's one of those things that a kind of battle in your brain.
It is. It is. It takes a long time, man. That's the other thing, man. You think you should be done with this. You're never going to be done with this. Dude, I still fight with it. Man. Not as much as I used to, but now I'm pretty good about, I can make burn jokes or whatever. But like, I'll just give you an example. The other day, there's a show on HBO or Max or whatever the fuck that's called now, called The Pit.
Yeah.
It's like a doctor show with Noah Wiley from ER.
Yeah.
And it's really intense. And one of the people they had in the show was a straight up burn vic that was literally burned the same percentage as me. That's how fucked up it was. And they had to cut through the different skin and shit to treat him and whatever. And I'm watching this and I'm just like, it's like it's putting my brain back into, some of those 22 surgeries that I had myself. And I'm just like, why am I watching this shit? Why am I putting myself in this mood? But I mean, in the end, then I look at it and I go, well, that's not me. That's on TV. I made it through mine.
Yeah. I will admit a lot of this stuff is mental. A lot of it really is. A lot of it, like I said, like when I went to Disney and stuff, and I had to get on because I know that I can't walk a park. I can't walk an entire amusement park. I just can't do it. Yeah. And so I had to get one of these stupid scooters, and the stupid scooters usually are these, they look like the people who get the scooters at Walmart, dude. Like, right, they shouldn't have a scooter. They just need it to get in. But, so I take my leg off and put it in a basket in front of me so people know, like, I'm missing a fucking leg here. I'm not just some guy that's lazy and wants to drive around on a scooter. But it's still, it has that stereotype. And so in my head, I'm like, I don't feel good getting on this damn scooter, but I can't do it any other way. And I don't want to embarrass my poor wife or my daughter when I look like this big fat dude that's just sitting in a fucking scooter pulling around a park. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be able to walk around. I want to be able to, at the same time, I will say, if I would have known what I know now, I would have taken a fucking scooter everywhere I went, because those things are really great, especially when it's hot outside and you're tired. But yeah, it's a lot of the shit is mental. A lot of shit is man, this sucks.
It does, dude. It does. I mean, again, I'm not trying to say, well, it's nothing. It is. It's a total mind fuck, and it stays a mind fuck. And you never get past it totally, but you get past it as much as you can. Yeah. And you've come 1,000,000 miles in 3 years. I still remember the first time we all sat down together, me, you, and Mike, and you were an angry son of a bitch. You were fucking scowling at Mike, at me, at the waitress. You're like, when's she gonna bring us me my fucking tea or whatever it was that you were drinking? You were just fucking mad, and I was like, ease up, bro. It's fine.
It was not a happy camper back then.
You were not.
Yeah, some of that comes out on social media now, but whatever. I had all these stories today that I wanted to talk about. We didn't get to any of them. Speaking of mind fucks, make sure you sign up for Minds, minds.com/Seth Williams Show. Extra content, $4.99 a month.
Yeah.
We're doing an extra half hour tonight over there in about 15 minutes. So,
yeah.
We didn't get to any of the stories I wanted to get to, but let's take a quick break, and then I want to ask you a question.
All right.
We'll move off of this for the last 15 minutes of the show.
All right, that's fine.
If that's all right with you.
Fine with
me.
Yeah,
3 years. It is what it is. I am going to celebrate all weekend long.
There you go.
And
get yourself a rice cake.
Yeah. We'll be right back here on the Seth Williams Show with Chris Aiken. Hang on.
When disaster strikes, we come together. Here at Mario's Barbershop, we've turned our passion into purpose. As Hands to America, a 501c3 nonprofit, we're on the ground helping those hit by hurricanes, floods, fires, and tornadoes, right here in northeastern Ohio and nationwide. But we can't do it alone. We need your help to keep this vital work going. Your donations, whether it's cash or vehicles, can bring hope to those who've lost so much. Join us in making a real impact. Every donation fuels relief efforts and helps rebuild lives. Call us at 844-864-2637 or locally at 216-520-1977 or visit us at handstoamerica.org to see how you can help.
Hands to America, handstoamerica.org. Help out Mario. Lots of floods and disasters, fires, and all that kind of stuff. And Mario is trying to help out. So please, anything you can donate, $5, whatever it is, go to handstoamerica.org and help out.
Right, of course.
Help out the Seth Williams show with Chris Aiken too by signing up for Minds, and send money via your messages, stuff like that. 3-year anniversary. I need a new leg, so let's still paying on this one. All right, let me ask you a question.
That's your new never-ending bill? Is that your new
Yes.
never-ending bill? Paying for legs?
This leg was like $15,000. I'm still not done with it, and I still got another. I got to get another one.
How do they not fucking provide that?
It's considered medical equipment or something like that. Not necessary, whatever.
Not necessary.
Yes. Unbelievable. You've seen all these college campuses, these Hamas supporters and pro-Palestinian supporters, and
Yeah.
they're hating on the Jewish community, even blocking Jews from going to classes and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dems are all coming out, the left is coming out saying, "Oh, free speech, free speech, free speech," right?
Right.
They can say what they want to say. I mean, there's one guy's going to get deported because he, is threatening people, and again, they're blocking kids from going to classes. And now, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Would there be any noise at all from the Democrat Party saying free speech, free speech, free speech, if it was the KKK marching on college campuses saying no blacks allowed and we're not allowing them to their classes?
They would lose their minds. There'd be the Million Man March in the streets against the racist Republican Party.
Right? And I guarantee you wouldn't hear the Democrats going, no, they get their free speech, they're allowed to say what they want to say.
Dude, they're happy when Antifa stops, Gavin McInnes or whoever from speaking.
So I'm just trying to figure out where their hypocrisy lies and their hatred for the Jewish community lies. I mean, they obviously just hate Jews. And the hypocrisy all over this country and the violence that's going on in this country is just shocking. I mean, we had a story I wanted to get into today about a black teen who was on a track team.
Yeah.
And there was a rain out at the track meet, right? A rain delay.
Yeah.
On one side of the track was a tent where the one team was at. On the other side of the track was where the other team was at.
Right.
Black teen walks over to the other side of the opposing team, and he sits in there and says, "Get rid of me. Throw me out. Touch me. I dare you." Somebody gets up, another teen, to escort him out of the tent. Black teen takes a knife, stabs him in the heart.
Stabs him in the heart. Oh,
Kid
is this that Carmelo guy?
Carmelo Anthony. Shocking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the judge reduced his bail from $1 million to $250,000. So much money has been raised online in a GoFundMe account or a GiveSendGo account,
right,
that they have bought now a big, huge home and a luxury car, and he's out free.
Sweet.
Now, do you think if the roles were reversed and the white kid went over to the other side of the track and stabbed a black teen in the heart with a knife, do you think that he'd be out right now?
Oh, absolutely. What's his name? Derek Chauvin, whatever his name is, the George Floyd guy.
Yes.
It's been pretty well proven, abundantly proven, that he did not kill George Floyd. But he's doing life in prison, right? Or 50 years or some crazy number, right?
Yeah, yes.
And it's been proven through autopsy and everything else that he was not killed from being choked out. He was killed from a fucking, meth overdose or whatever?
Yeah, if you want to watch the movie, If you want to watch this movie, it's called The Fall of Minneapolis. I think
Yeah.
the website might be fallofminneapolis.com if it's still up there. But it's a big, huge documentary about the George Floyd.
Yeah. But even that doesn't matter. They're not letting that guy out. Why? Because he's a white guy.
But I'm just trying.
If he was a black guy, they wouldn't even have probably charged him.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on in this country where these kind of things can happen and it's okay. And it seems to be happening with the left. The left is very violent now all of a sudden, and they are promoting violence.
Mhm.
Like the guy that's threatening me.
Yeah.
And apparently this is stuff that's all okay now. And I'm trying to figure out where do I think that what Donald Trump is doing, everything is perfect? No, I don't. Do I think that the country's headed in a better direction than it was? I do. But do I think that the left is trying to stop him and the Republican conservative agenda at any point and with anything that they could possibly do, including violence, including shooting him, supporters, or anybody else? I think we're headed for a massive bad situation in this country because we're only 3 months in.
Right.
I mean, we're 3 months in, and this kind of stuff is already getting way out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine where we're going to be 2 years in? People are going to die.
All people are going to die.
People are going to die for their opinions.
There's no question about that, dude. It's coming. Like this is a side note. I don't know if you've seen this story or not, but there's an exit in Chicago that people get off of the highway to go to the Chicago White Sox games.
Right.
And there are guys now that roll up. They wear the vests, the orange vests, and they roll up on the cars that are stuck at the exit. And they tell them that they have to pay $40 in order to park. And if they don't pay the $40, they won't let them buy. They're just extorting, and they're not affiliated with the team or not. They're just extorting. It's just straight up extortion. You know, crime is everywhere. If Trump can fix the crime even a little bit, that will be the biggest win we can get because the crime is out of control.
Well, in a way, he's fixed a lot of the crime by getting rid of a lot of these illegals. And
then that is a big part of it. But I mean, dude, we have to, I hate to be this guy, but we need to get back to some fucking real justice.
Well, I agree.
We got to get back to fuck around and find out. Just turn the cameras off of the cops and let's get the wood shampoos going.
I mean, there's an article that I sent you too about this Maryland guy who was deported, taken to El Salvador.
Right.
And the left is demanding that we bring him back here because they said that it was illegal for them to deport him. Now, what the left isn't telling you, what the story isn't telling you, is that this guy has faced two immigration court judges that have both said that he's here illegally. He's actually a citizen of El Salvador.
Sure.
And not legal here. And also has the ink or whatever showing that he's a member of MS-13 gang. And he's got to go.
He's a dreamer.
His paperwork says whatever. And they said that he needs to be brought back. And no. The president of El Salvador says, he's a citizen here.
Right.
He doesn't belong in America. But the left is now saying, some of these Democrats are saying they were going to go to El Salvador to stand by this guy to bring him back here.
Go ahead.
You have people on the left that are standing up for illegal gang members. They would rather have them here in our country than taken out of our country and put somewhere else. They would rather have them here raping, killing our own citizens.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost their fucking minds. And when you say something on social media, you get threatened.
Of course. That's why you just ignore it and you have your values and you live to your values. You don't worry about what some fucking other asshole does because they ain't going to change. They're not going to chanch. You're never going to convince them. Dude, the fact that they can't look at Doge and that they would willingly rather have the government steal their tax money than have it cleaned up just because of who's doing the cleaning. That tells you all you need to know. They'd rather be stolen from. They're literally saying, keep stealing from me. Keep stealing from me.
One of these douchebag leftists said something. They posted a meme, a Simpsons meme. I mean, these people aren't even creative when they post stuff. I mean, like, get off your fucking meme little thing and actually come up with something creative and say it. Come up with an original thought, you dumb fuck. But he posted a Simpsons meme about, repeat the Republican line, finding, waste, and fraud. I mean, like, they're retarded. I mean, they're not smart people. And it's very frustrating, but I really do think the more I watch what's going on online and I watch what's going on with even our leaders in this country, I think we're headed for something bad here.
It could be.
Really bad is going to happen.
Again, that's why you got to be...
This ugly, with 3 months in, we are really fucked.
You got to be armed. You got to be ready. I agree with Brian here. I'm worried about Big Mike and Barack getting a divorce.
Yeah, I think she came out and said something like...
she didn't deny it.
No, but she said, can't I just do things on my own? Aren't I allowed to do what I want to do? Like, okay. Well,
somebody asked her about it, and she's like I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I ain't worried about. Don't ask me about Barack. Probably because she hasn't seen him in 6 months.
This is why Trump gets so much hate. I saw the best picture the other day, and it wasn't like a doctored picture; it was a for real picture, and it was Barack and Michelle, Bill and Hillary, George W. and his wife, and then George H.W. in like a wheelchair or something.
Okay,
they were all at one point just hanging out together. They all had smiles on their faces.
Sure,
and that's the fucking problem. And that's what the problem is with Donald Trump, because he's not doing that.
No, he doesn't want nothing to do with any of these fucks.
And so now nobody knows what the hell to do with Donald Trump. Everybody's fucking petrified.
Mm-hmm.
And
the scariest part to me is I think the Dems are just biding their time because they know Trump won't be there after 4 years. So they're just biding their time.
What are they biding their time? The people that are promoting are Jasmine Crockett, who's a fucking nut job racist, and then the two people touring the country are AOC and Bernie Sanders.
And
Bernie Sanders might not make it the rest of the 4 years before he's dead. And AOC, I mean, she's an admitted socialist. She's a bartender, for God's sake.
She's not smart.
No.
God, can you imagine Donald Trump versus AOC in a debate?
I can't imagine you or me against AOC in a debate.
Wouldn't go well for her, that's for sure. She's not very smart.
I mean, I just.
The only thing that's scary about that is that I honestly think that Jasmine, what's her name, Crockett? Jasmine Crockett. I think she has a real chance of being something. Because she's black, female, so she checks all those boxes. She's kind of hip for the younger voter. You know, she is what's her name failed at. I can't remember her name. The one that just ran. Kamala. She is what Kamala Harris tried to be, but was too old to be. The hip hop political queen.
The problem is Trump's numbers in young people are actually growing.
Yeah, but Trump ain't going to be there.
I know.
It's going to be J.D. Vance or DeSantis or something.
You got to hope it rubs off on the Republican Conservative Party.
You would hope, but
I don't know. But not to end on a bad note there, but I do think we're headed for something troubling. But we'll see. Everybody have a great rest of your Holy Week.
Yes.
Good Friday coming up and Easter on Sunday. Everybody hopefully have a good holiday weekend if you celebrate.
Yes.
And God willing, we will talk to you again on Monday. And if you haven't signed up for Minds, that's where we're headed now. Minds.com/Seth Williams Show.
Yep. We
will see you there. Can you hit this? Because I don't.
Yep, I will hit it, and I'm just going to tell the Minds people we are going to start off right at the beginning with a fuck around and find out moment. So,
all right,
I got a good one.
But thank you everybody for putting up with the anniversary bullshit today and all that kind of stuff. But we thank you for listening, and we will talk to you again next week.
See ya.
See ya.
knows this land stands tall and proud. Who believes in freedom speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.
Welcome to the ultimate experience for hard rock and heavy metal fans. Introducing the CMS Locals VIP app, your #1 destination for all things on the CMS network. Dive into the classic metal show, Chris Akey Presents, Seth Williams Show, and more, all in one place. It's free to get started or elevate your experience with a subscription for just $4.99 a month. Go commercial free, get advanced releases, and enjoy exclusive bonus episodes. Plus, it's the prime spot to chat with like-minded fans who love raw, uncensored commentary. Are you ready to rock? Download from your iOS or Android store, search for the CMS network, and join the community now. It's free, it's easy, and it's the best way to keep our shows with you every single day. Install the Locals.com app today and follow the CMS network.